MarzGurl.
And I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
Welcome to episode 60 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover Season 2, Episode 9 of City Hunter, titled Speeding Violation of Love. Ryo and the Beautiful Motorcycle Cop.
Motorcycle Cop is a sweet nothing?
No, Motorcycle Cop is I already said this at the end of last week's episode.
I know.
You just really like the Muppet movie.
You know how much I quote that part of the movie?
You quote a lot of that movie just in general.
It's because the Muppet movie is the best Muppet movie. I don't know why they made more Muppet movies. That's the Muppet movie.
Okay, but you say that and we literally just rewatched a Muppet Christmas Carol. And you're going to say that's not a good Muppet movie.
It's not the Muppet movie.
But it is a good Muppet movie.
Yeah, but it's not the Muppet movie.
But you just said it's the only good Muppet movie.
I didn't say it was the only good one. I just said I don't know why they kept making them after the first one. That's where they can stop because it's so good.
But they kept making other ones and they were good.
Yeah, but they're not the Muppet movie good.
I mean, they're not going to have the title The Muppet Movie, because why would you title them that? They already did that once. But the other ones are good, most of them, except Muppets in Space. I think we all agree Muppets in Space is the worst one.
I don't know.
You didn't even see Muppets in Space.
Yeah, I did, but I only saw it once. I rented it, and then I was like, that was a film, and then we took it back.
See, like, I remember not everybody was even into Muppets anymore at the time, but I know the kids that did rent it, because nobody bought it. Nobody bought that movie. You only rented it, and then some other kid at school would tell you, man, this movie sucked. Gonzo's an alien.
Well, yeah, it does kind of ruin the illusion when they tell you.
Because it's like, I think I speak for a lot of people coming from that, people who grew up with the Muppets, that Gonzo made you feel seen because of how weird he was. If you were a certain type of kid, it's like, you know what? It's okay being weird. Because this puppet thing does it. I don't know what he is, but you know what? He's cool being himself. And then that made you feel better about yourself.
I can't say I had that moment.
Well, because I think I've heard it said before, whatever Muppet you gravitated toward said a lot about your personality. Like, if you gravitated toward Gonzo, you were weird. If you gravitated toward Kermit, you were a people pleaser. And if you gravitated toward Piggy, you had a lot of rage issues.
I gravitated toward Sweetums. I don't know what that says.
It means that you wanted to be a big hairy monster?
Thanks, Josh.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what you mean by that.
I don't know what that means. You're the one who says it means something.
It means you're nicer than people give you credit for.
Oh, thank you.
Whew. Saved it.
We went on for way too long about Muppets in a show that has absolutely zero to do with Muppets.
Yeah, so let's get back to talking about what we normally talk about, the boners.
Ugh.
We start off this week's episode, and the idea is there was a potential for something to be done with a boner.
It's Sayako's day off, and somehow she has actually agreed to a date?
Well, yeah, because we start out the episode here somewhere by the ocean or by the sea, and yeah, it's Sayako's dedicated day off. She does not have police work. She makes a point of making sure to tell Ryo, I'm not doing any police work today. We're not doing any of that. So yeah, you would think, was she actually potentially trying to at least get herself in the headspace to pay back some of those IOUs?
Like, I don't know that she would have seriously gone all the way to the end zone with it, but I do think she was trying to get some of this off of her back.
Which would mean at some point she was trying to be honest about it.
Well, cool. If only that held out.
This is true.
They go for a drive in a Porsche.
But before we go into that drive, we need to get some product placement in here. Now, you guys might have noticed we haven't been talking much about any sort of M&M's product placement because it hasn't been there. So this week they figured, no, we need like some of the biggest advertising on the planet. Like, what's something so big if you see it, you'll recognize it from a mile away? Coke.
I mean, I was gonna say Walmart, but I mean, okay.
I mean, Walmart wasn't as big in the 80s.
Target.
No, we're talking...
Kmart.
Well, those are all places that sell Coke, yes.
Montgomery Ward.
Okay, now you're going old school.
And I don't think they sold Coke.
No, they didn't. But yeah, we got Coke product placement here.
Yeah, not some off-brand Coke thing where they change the spelling just to get around it a little bit.
Well, okay, there's a little of that on the vending machine, but the can that Ryo's holding on to, that's a Coca-Cola.
It plainly says Coca-Cola. I guess Ryo likes Coke.
That's like the least offensive thing you could say about him. It'd be worse if he liked Diet Coke, I think.
Diet Coke existed by then, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that would be sad. Ryo's not that sad.
Mind you, this is nothing against people who actually like Diet Coke. I'm just not one of them.
Oh, well, I'm definitely saying something against people who like Diet Coke.
No, really, Kaylin, tell us how you really feel.
This is an episode of Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'm the bad cop. There are two cops in this episode, though.
Well, actually, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. So
I don't know if either one of them as the good cop and the bad cop, though?
Well, there's cop that we're used to seeing and cop who's strangely literal. But let's go ahead and introduce that cop. So Sayako and Ryo go out on this drive in Sayako's red Porsche because she needs people to think she has big dick energy, and she does kind of have that.
That's true.
But it's like you look at a red Porsche and you assume it's a douchebag driving it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I sometimes think Sayako's a douchebag.
True, we know you think that. And I'm inclined to agree with you 9 times out of 10.
This time, though, I mean, it seemed like she was genuinely just trying to spend time with Ryo, I guess.
For whatever that's worth, up until right now. Because they get to a traffic light, and the whole point of the day is apparently they're leaving Tokyo. They're trying to get away from the big city for a day. And at this traffic light, in the opposite direction, is a Mercedes-Benz right there at the light. And inside that Mercedes-Benz is a shady-looking guy who Sayako instantly recognizes.
So although she is not on the job, she decides, well, shoot, I'm gonna go be on the job. This does not make Ryo very happy, but she has turned her Porsche around right there in the middle of the intersection and has decided she needs to chase down this Benz. Even though she's not on the clock, she doesn't even have her handcuffs, she apparently doesn't have any sort of identification that would ID her as a police officer.
But she tells Ryo, no, you don't understand. That guy's a suspect in a case I'm working on. We gotta go after him now. Let's haul ass.
Ryo's still upset. There is one car in between the both of them the entire time, like a little yellow Lupin Fiat.
But not quite. If it was Lupin's Fiat, I think it would be small. I thought it was like a 4-door.
No, it's a 2-door.
Okay.
It's a very small car.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's like she's trying to tail, and you would think she would want to keep that car length between them to not make it obvious.
No, she's being too aggressive, and it kind of bites her in the ass.
The driver of the Benz recognizes, hey, I think we're being followed.
Knowing they're being followed, they want to try and lose this Porsche as quickly as possible. So they're hauling ass, but Sayako just cannot get around this little yellow Fiat.
And she tries to go into oncoming traffic to pass, but then she almost causes a wreck between the yellow car.
An oncoming semi.
Right. And you figure bad driving like that would make somebody take notice, and it does.
Motorcycle cop.
This is where the motorcycle cop comes in. So immediately they get pulled over.
Woo!
Psycho's like, ah, crap, let me handle this. Cop comes to the window like, hey, I need some ID.
Shoot, I got no ID. I left him in my other pants, because that's the excuse. You know, you didn't bring him with you or whatever.
I don't think Psycho has ever worn pants.
You know what I mean, she doesn't have it on her.
I know.
So, she has her driver's license, but I guess the driver's license isn't the same thing, obviously, as identification that would ID her as a cop.
She tells her, I'm a detective, I'm trying to pursue a suspect, but...
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't believe somebody either if they didn't have identifying information that they were a cop.
I mean, to be fair, it would have been nice if this particular police officer had been there anywhere toward the end of last week's episode when Ryo had no identification and was trying to portray himself as a cop.
That's true.
So the motorcycle cop takes off her helmet and shows, oh, she's actually really cute, and Ryo is easily able to pick up on this because that's what he was here for. It doesn't matter if it was Psycho or some other new woman, he just likes them pretty. And Psycho's like, damn, we're not gonna get out of this fast enough, and that car's getting away. Ryo, I need you to do me another favor.
It's always another favor with you, Sayako, but she kicks him out of the car and tells him, do whatever it is you do, try to hug her or whatever, which, it's kind of messed up that Sayako's, encouraging Ryo to do the assaulty sort of stuff that he usually does, but it's all because it would work in her favor to be able to continue to pursue this dude in the Mercedes-Benz.
So she tosses his ass out of the car, puts it in gear, and then gets the hell down the road. And before the cop can give chase, Ryo does exactly what he was asked to do and kind of hug gropes her and says, no, it's cool. The cop said I could do this.
Yeah, but he is hugging another cop. And so she threatens, I'm gonna arrest you myself for trying to assault a cop, but she knows she's gotta go pursue Sayako, but then she doesn't do that. She's really torn between these two things.
But at least as far as the grope goes, she gets him back forward and judo throws him into a road sign.
Right.
So now we're back at the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Station, and apparently they've straightened some of this out. Ryo's saying, hey, I kinda hurt my tailbone there, but at least you're letting me go.
It was weird that he's like, I hurt the tailbone tailbone in my butt, and she really has to clarify, is there a tailbone someplace other than your butt?
And it's like, I would say that, me personally, I would say that to be a dick.
Yeah, I'd say it to be funny, but
Yeah.
it seems like this sort of thing keeps coming up, and so she's like serious? It's kind of weird.
Well, it's like she might be, I don't think this is what they intended, but with looking at things through a different lens, it could be that she's having a hard time picking up on social cues and wording and things like that.
Or maybe she's just got really dry humor and she's not letting it show that she's trying to be funny.
I mean, it could be, but it's never portrayed as her trying to get a laugh, is the thing.
No, maybe it's just funny to her, and she doesn't need to laugh on the outside. She's just internally like, heh.
Maybe. But she tells Rio, look, I'm really sorry about this. It turns out nothing good came of this because I didn't need to arrest you. I mean, you did need to stop doing that. But at the same time, because I delayed you guys, Sayako didn't catch up to the guys she was chasing and lost them somewhere around Yokohama. And Ryo's just upset because the plans that they had fell through, which was what he was calling a Mokkori night drive. And that sounds like a really cool band name.
Oh yeah, now I wish that existed.
That sounds like a city pop DJ name. Like somebody's gonna remix.
Is that gonna be your new DJ nickname? Is Mokkori Night DJ Mokkori Night Drive?
No. See, when you phrase it like that, I take it back. That's a good name for an album. Mokkori Night Drive.
Yeah, but by what DJ? DJ Josh?
Knight the First?
Okay.
I guess. And so the traffic cop, who now we find out her name is Kiyomi, explains to Rio, look, I'm really actually sorry about this. I think the only thing that'll make up for it is if I apologize in person to Sayako for messing up the case. I actually really want to help out. And so like Rio's like, fine, we'll take care of that later. So he goes back to the apartment alone because he can't convince Kiyomi to come with him, and he's done with today. He's just done.
He's real upset.
And he doesn't care whether or not Cowdy's at home, so you know what? He's just gonna go home and start drinking.
Just hitting the bottle.
Specifically Umibozu's Wild Hawk bottle.
I mean, I don't know if it's like his, it's just that Umibozu drinks it a lot.
Like, I like the headcanon that it's his bottle of bourbon that he's brewing somewhere on his compound.
I understand, because he does have way more than any one person would ever need in their lifetime at one given moment in time.
But you are correct in that dude just puts it away. Like, every time we see Umibozu with one of those bottles, he's just knocking them back.
So Rio's hitting it hard, but he's not quite hitting it Umibozu hard.
And he's there just kind of complaining about how the day went, but also thinking, hey, Kiyomi's actually pretty cute. And that's when Cowdy comes in. Who you calling cute? Who you talking about?
Yeah, but look, like, Kaori is having a pretty good day, all things considered. Like, poor Rio having not such a great time, but Kaori is kind of happy at the moment. And she's dressed kind of nice, too. She's got, like, this nice yellow dress on. I don't know what got her in the mood to wear, like, kind of cutesy frilly stuff this time. That's not her usual thing. Not to say that she doesn't always look cute anyway, but, like, she did herself up a bit.
Well, I think that's good for her and her self-esteem that she felt like, you know what, I'm gonna do me today. I'm gonna have a me day. I'm gonna dress myself up. I'm gonna go get some clothes. I don't need Rio around. I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no city hunter. Now, mind you, in my book, she is dressed up just like Jane from Disney's Tarzan.
Even though Tarzan would not be out for quite some time.
Like at least another like 10 plus years, I think.
Well, more. Didn't it come out in like 2004? Oh no, it came out. Really? It was that early? 1999. Okay.
Okay, so we're only a little over a decade off. Because this is 88 right now.
Either way, so Tarzan wouldn't come out for more than another 10 years. So, a little early for the Jane comparison, but I guess that works out for those of you who need a visual, because this is audio.
So we have to help paint you a picture. And the picture is Jane from Disney's Tarzan.
Okay.
But yeah, Cowdy is trying to be like, okay, well, you say, oh, this is some model because Rio's lying about who Kiyomi is. And that's enough to get her to not focus on that, because what she really wants to do is show off what she bought to Rio.
So she bought some really nice fuzzy jacket.
A fur coat.
Nice fur coat. It's supposed to be this brand name coat that's usually extremely expensive.
A brand called Rich A Wool. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be like in reference to. We just assume it's a funny name.
I mean, it's wool, like it came off of an animal, and so did this fur. Presumably, when you buy it and you think that it's name brand and you think, I just bought me a fur coat and it was on discount discount, so...
I got it for less than half the sale price, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
She's picking it up, she's hugging it, like, she's extremely happy.
Like, she just gave herself her own little Christmas here.
Yeah.
But Ryo's not trying to hear that, he just wants to go to bed. He wakes up the next morning, and Cowdy's immediately in his face.
She is very upset, and she just needs to tell somebody about this, and I guess Ryo was the closest person.
Well, he's the only person. Like,
He's the only person in the building. Like, I mean, I know what I would have done. I would have taken the jacket. Well, okay, here's what actually happened, though. So the jacket's fake, as you might have been able to tell.
She reads in the morning paper, hey, guess what? There's somebody going around Shinjuku selling name brand items, but it turns out they're actually really, really bad knockoffs. And unfortunately, Cowdy found out she's got one of those.
It's a bad knockoff, and all the fur just comes out in clumps. It's very sad, and a very big waste of money. Like, I would have gone back to the store and been like, give me a refund. Unless the store was like, no refunds. And
or the store was suddenly gone. Like if it was one of those fly-by-night operations, like they had a storefront and you try to go back and complain and they're gone.
I guess. It would have had to have been that, because if that's all it was, I would have been upset, but I wouldn't have been nearly as upset as Kaori was.
And we're going to find out here in a little bit, jumping ahead just slightly, this is the case that Sayako is trying to work on, is that this guy that she saw in the Benz earlier is the guy who's helping facilitate and sell all of these knockoff products. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, I actually have a little bit of experience. Have you ever been in the presence of a fake fur coat?
I'm sure I must have been at some point in time, but I don't pay attention to them that much.
So specifically here, you met my family, obviously, we're married. Way back when, my aunt, she bought my grandmother one of these, fur coats because she thought it would look really nice on her, and my grandmother was one of those typical kind of people who always talked about having one, but could never afford it. So my aunt, thinking she found a good deal at the flea market, got this coat for my grandmother, and everybody was like, oh, on Christmas when she got it for her, and it took her maybe about 5 to 10 minutes before she pulled out this clump.
Oh no.
And then it just all started kind of falling apart, and then like it was so bad because like you could see the look of disappointment on my grandmother's face.
Oh no.
But it was made worse and funny because all the grandkids, of which I'm the eldest of 8 grandkids at the time, this is Christmas, they all started running up and grabbing at the coat because they thought it was, oh, this is like a piñata. Oh, this is great.
I'm sorry. It was just really sad.
No, what was really sad was that, you could see the look on my grandmother's face like, oh no, she didn't know any better. And also this look of, I should have known it would have been fake coming from her.
Oh, that's so sad
well,
too.
No, but the other thing was my aunt, she looked so disappointed because she thought she was doing something really nice for her mom. And then it was like, oh no, Christmas is ruined. Except it wasn't, because we all laugh about it, at her expense.
That's so sad though.
It is kind of sad.
I'm suddenly very sad, actually. That should be really funny, and I'm feeling very sad.
Well, we laugh about it now. It's been like more than 20 years at this point. God, like more like 25, close to 30. Oh man, I'm old.
Oh no. Stop making yourself so sad. Stop making me sad.
All right, fine. So luckily for Ryo, he gets a phone call right now as Cowdy's pouring out her gripes about all of this to him, and it happens to be Kiyomi talking about, hey, there's something going on with the case Sayako was talking about. I need you to meet up with me. And he's like, okay, sure, I'll meet you wherever. Just let me get out of this conversation with Cowdy. So he meets her at a park, and for whatever reason, he thought it was a better idea to take the Panda, Cowdy's car, the Fiat.
We never see the Mini Cooper this entire episode. The whole episode, Ryo is driving this other Fiat.
And like, we saw the Mini last week.
We'll see the Mini again next week, but I'm just wondering, like, this is another situation of, they're really that comfortable just borrowing one another's vehicles. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
But yeah, as they're there at the park, Kiyomi discloses to Ryo everything that I just told you guys, that guy in the Benz was the guy who's responsible for all this stuff. Ryo is now aware of the case because now it's semi-personal because it relates to Cowdy, and Kiyomi asks if Ryo will in fact help her out because she tried to actually volunteer her services to be part of Sayako's investigation, but Sayako turned her down.
Yeah, but Ryo's not gonna turn down Pretty Motorcycle Cop.
No, so he's in.
But they gotta go to Yokohama, because that's apparently where he's working out of. And here's my question. Does Tokyo Tokyo PD have jurisdiction in Yokohama?
I don't know. Like, we played through Yakuza Like a Dragon and also Lost Judgment, which both take place in Yokohama, and the police presence as depicted in those games does not seem to be very great.
Hold on. Because I think it's in a different prefecture. I would like to just double check. What prefecture is Yokohama in? Look, Yokohama's not even in the same prefecture as Tokyo, okay? It's in Kanagawa.
Definitely it's out of Kiyomi's jurisdiction because she was out on the highway somewhere.
Yeah, so this doesn't make sense to me, but fine, okay. The police just gotta go where they need to do things.
But see, Ryo isn't the police. He operates outside the law.
Yeah, but he's working with the police. Like 2 different police officers from Tokyo. They're going to a different prefect. Okay. Oh, man.
Look, it's like Harvey Dent and James Gordon going to Batman because Batman has no jurisdiction. Ryo is Batman right now.
Yeah, but then Commissioner Gordon doesn't go with Batman to go into the jurisdiction he can't go to.
So anyway, Ryo has to figure out where in Yokohama, Chinatown he needs to go. So he goes back to the shoe shine informant that we haven't seen since last season.
Oh yeah, that guy's still around.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a minute.
We talked to him like 3 times. Maybe?
I think this is the 3rd time.
This might be the 3rd time.
But it's nice that the writers remembered he existed.
Kind of like it's nice that the writers sometimes remember that Ryo goes to that one bar and sometimes they give him an XYZ cocktail.
I know, right?
Like they build that up in the first episode and the informant. Like they're going to be really important. Like these are really important details in the life and business of City Hunter. And then, hey, what happened to those guys? Oh, here's one of them.
But yeah, the informant tells him, yeah, he's a business owner here in Chinatown. He owns a restaurant. It's over in this direction. And Ryo's like, okay, great. So that night, he decides to go ahead and stake out the restaurant, albeit from a different restaurant looking down on the front of that particular restaurant's entrance.
Motorcycle cop lady is also there, and she's wearing a Chinese-style dress. That's called something specific.
Well, I wanted to say that it was a cheongsam, but cheongsam aren't the same as what she's wearing. It's slightly different in the style.
I'm just gonna avoid sticking my foot in my mouth, and I'm just gonna say, stereotypical Chinese-looking dress.
Yeah, because I think with the cheongsam, it would have had to have been shorter sleeve than what she had, because she had, like, long sleeve.
Okay, I will defer to your judgment there. I'll take your word for it. So she's wearing that dress, and Ryo's like, oh, you're wearing that dress. And she's like, yeah, it's Chinatown, I'm wearing that dress.
I thought it would help. And she means it, though.
You really don't need to wear a very Chinese dress just because you're in Chinatown. We were just in Los Angeles, Chinatown.
For New Year's, that's right.
For New Year's. No one was dressed like that.
No. It's like if you go to visit Texas, you don't have to wear spurs and a cowboy hat.
The guy who served us at the restaurant was in like jeans and a t-shirt. I can't remember what was on the t-shirt, but it was some screen printed t-shirt. And I'm just like, yeah, you're just a normal dude serving us food. You don't have to wear Chinese clothes because you're in Chinatown.
Yeah, that's too much. And so Kiyomi's asking Ryo, well, I get that we're having to do a stakeout, but we're not at the place we need to be. Shouldn't we be waiting in the actual restaurant the dude owns? Ryo actually makes a good point here. He tells her, no, if we were sitting in that actual restaurant waiting for the owner to show up, we'd be there way too long and make us stick out like sore thumbs.
But it also helps that this is all very convenient so that he can spend more alone time with her and spend more time just looking her up and down in her pretty dress.
Like, he's trying real hard, but he's not quite getting the view that he wants, thankfully.
And neither is she, so eventually they do leave that restaurant.
And they decide, okay, now we've been at this restaurant too long, let's just go wait in the Panda. And so Ryo tells Kiyomi, if you want, you could be out here for a while. I don't know if you're cool with that. And she's like, no, it's cool. I took the day off tomorrow. I'm here to help.
Great. Let's go to the hotel then instead because, this could be forever. We'll check back in tomorrow. And she's like, no, what if I miss him because we went back to the hotel? And she would have been right because that's when that Mercedes-Benz comes around the corner again and pulls up in front of that restaurant.
And Ryo's just like, damn, how dare he actually be here?
Damn, how dare she be right?
So Ryo and Kiyomi get out of the car and Ryo tells her, all right, we have to pretend like we're on a date. That way we don't look too obvious.
Which is kind of true, but again, also also kind of just taking advantage of the moment.
And so they're like down the block from dude getting out of the car and going straight into the restaurant. And as they're inching closer, they notice a very familiar, really nice bomber jacket peeking out from behind an alley.
Somehow, Kaori got there before them and is really mad because she has already figured out this guy is selling fake jackets and she's about to just go in there, just straight through the front door. And
no, Kaori, we don't know how to impress this to you guys, how bad she has it right now. She's ready to go ape shit. Like, she's ready to throw hands. She is ready to go in there and get her money back and get her satisfaction.
I don't even know if it's about the money at this point so much as it is about, like, I got swindled and I just need to take it out on the guy whose fault this is.
Yeah, like, it's something else. It's beyond pride.
Oh, there's no pride here. This would just maybe make her feel better.
Maybe. And so they bump into each other because she's sticking her neck out to see, oh, is he here? And that's when Ryo and Kiyomi are walking up and they both do the, what are you doing here?
And Ryo has to throw her into the back alley because Kaori is just screaming about all of this because she's so furious and he's got to be like, shut the f up. What are you doing?
Here, Kiyomi, go inside and keep an eye on him real quick. And, you know, he tries to talk to Kaori and finally Kaori kind of puts it together in her own head. Wait a minute. Are you doing this for me?
No, but...
Well, no, he says...
Yes.
Yes. That's the smart answer. Good job, Ryo. Dodge the hammer. You see, she gets these, like, puppy dog eyes when she realizes he's trying to basically do the same thing, albeit not for her specifically.
But they were there specifically because, yes, this is the crime that they were trying to get to stop.
But while Ryo is trying to calm down Kaori in the alley, Kiyomi follows the guy into the restaurant and notices he goes down into a back room down some stairs. And she's like, all right, I gotta go back down that way.
She follows him down there, starts sneaking around. There's a lot of boxes. She starts rooting around through the boxes, finds, hey, here's one of those fake jackets. This is evidence.
Now you would think, okay, we got him dead to rights, case closed. Unfortunately, somebody was moving around too much. I don't think it was Kiyomi, it was probably Sayako, because one of Dude's lackeys comes busting into their office like, hey boss, the cops found out about us, and I think they're gonna come raid us tonight. We need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, because nobody was talking about doing a raid, so it had to have been from Sayako's end that this information got to them.
And lackey guy's like, come on, we got a boat ready, let's go. And so, you know, the boss and two of his thugs start hauling ass out of the room.
They leave, Kiyomi gives chase. Ryo and Kaori really didn't get a chance to do much of anything at this juncture.
No, but they kind of catch up pretty quick of, oh crap, everything's happening right now while we were talking.
But Kiyomi's like, here Kaori, this is one of those fake jackets, hold on to this.
And a fake wallet or purse or something.
Here's the fake stuff, hold on to this stuff, more cops are gonna be coming, you tell them that this is the stuff, and you've got all you need. I gotta go chase them right now, they're going to the docks. Hey look, there's just a motorcycle that's been left out here, and the key is in it, and it's very convenient. I'm gonna go ride this motorcycle because I'm a motorcycle cop, and I'm gonna go chase him down there to the docks.
And it's this really nice, like, racing style Honda.
And it's all white and blue and red like a Gundam.
Well, like a Gundam or like Kamen Rider V3's bike.
It's a Gundam.
It could be either or.
It's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam!
Josh, it's Sunrise. It's a Gundam.
No, actually, no, wait. I'm being dumb. Of course it would be a Gundam because it is Sunrise. But of course, because she's wearing that Chinese dress, Kiyomi can't exactly ride, so she has to, like, pull the thigh part open.
Yeah.
Which, of course, excites Ryo. He's like, oh, thighs! I've been waiting all day! And he goes grabbing for him.
I mean, we can't have an episode without Kaori throwing a hammer. 1,000 tons. Bam, right on his head. Kiyomi takes off, and it's funny, Ryo, like, kind of crawls out from under the hammer without too much trouble.
Yeah, it's almost like the hammer stopped having weight after the initial hit, which to me comes across as something we will eventually get to later of whether or not Ryo is like keeping up with the kayfabe of what the relationship between him and Kaori is and oversells how hard he's being hit or how much damage he's taking by one of Kaori's hammers.
I don't think that was like the narrative of this episode or anything, but it's something to think about because it will come up later.
It will, yes. So put a pin in that. So yeah, Ryo takes Coyote's car again because for some reason they forgot that City Hunter's car
Mini Cooper.
It's
a Mini Cooper.
I know, yeah. Like, did you guys forget? How do you guys have such selective memory with what car they have?
So how did Kaori get there? I mean, she might have taken the train?
Well, it's not like it's hard to take the train to Yokohama from Shinjuku, right?
It's not super hard, but like if they both have cars, it would be more convenient to drive down there. I don't know.
And you would figure, like, if they've got two cars, then she would have taken the Mini, right?
And maybe it's just parked somewhere and we can't see it. I don't know.
I mean, let's do this right now. How do you want to headcanon this? Did she take the train or did she take the Mini and it's parked off screen?
I think the Mini would be the smartest thing to do. Ryo took my car again. Guess I have to take his.
Or, and I hate doing this to you, or it could be the thing of he took the Panda, but he's an ass. So he hid the keys to the Mini so she had to take public transportation.
Oh, that would be really mean. And I wish that we would have seen that.
Yeah, but also because of the personality, I don't think I would put it past Ryo to do that.
That's some other kind of abuse, though.
It is.
You hear about these people that, like, hide their significant other's car keys?
That is, I have heard that's a thing, yeah.
That's a thing. Oh, please. Oh, I don't want that
all right,
to be a thing.
then we're,
no,
let's scrap that.
Sad again.
No more sad. No more being sad. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so the Mini Cooper's off screen, okay?
Okay, the Mini Cooper's off screen.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So Ryo takes off in the Panda, and Coyote's like, hey, leave some for me!
Lady's driving off on that motorcycle, though. She's pursuing pretty hard. Those dudes make it to their boat, and it's a
speedboat.
Yeah, like a speedboat. It's got a little engine in the back. You know, it's not a real big boat or anything. It could fit, like, 4 people on it if they really wanted, I guess.
And then back at the restaurant, Sayako finally shows up. Coyote tells her everything, and Sayako's like, all right, I know where they're going. Get in. So Coyote's gonna catch up now, too.
Everybody's going to the docks. The boat is leaving the docks. Kiyomi is on the motorcycle. She's just a little bit too late. She doesn't let that stop her, and she ramps off the boat ramp.
Evel Knievel style.
Flies seemingly forever on this motorcycle into Tokyo Bay.
Toei bike stunts is what we're telling you guys. Very Kamen Rider Tokusatsu bike stunt. There's no way that bike made it that far.
But it did. It lands in the boat.
Well, not just in the boat, it like goes off the front of the boat and takes the driver of the boat with it. So now it's just Kiyomi and Evil Dude, who we never learned his name.
We never did learn his name, did we?
No, this is another episode where Sunrise forgot to name the bad guy.
He's just guy with...
What, glasses?
Guy with the bootleg materials.
Mr. Bootleg.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Bootleg.
Bootleg guy is the only guy left, and Kiyomi's like, now you're under arrest. And he's like, haha, no I'm not, I have a gun. That worked very well, actually.
Because all she's got is handcuffs, and unfortunately guns beat handcuffs.
He commands her, alright, now handcuff yourself to the boat, and you're now my hostage. Damn, I didn't really think this through, I guess.
And at some point off screen, Ryo found another boat, rented it or stole it, and turned it into City Hunter boat. And that City Hunter boat is coming right towards them with swift justice. Actually, no, I take that back. A better name would be, quite simply, Ryo boat.
Oh my god.
He's on a Ryo boat.
No.
So Ryo starts shooting, or no, Dude starts shooting first. He shoots wildly towards Ryo's boat, and he's not hitting anything.
Of course he isn't. This is not a marksman. Ryo is the marksman.
Yeah, because Ryo only takes 2 shots, and he hits what he needs to. He hits Dude's hand, knocks the gun out of his hand, and with the other one, he shoots through the chain links on the cuffs.
Handcuffs, yeah.
And so now Kiyomi's free and is in the water. He's like, no, I got you. Lifesaver. Pa. So he chases after Dude, and Dude like ends up crashing his boat back into the dock.
He clearly was way too concerned with being chased. More concerned with that than actually paying attention to where he was going.
Like, hey, where's the dock? Ah!
Found it.
And so now the cops are pulling up. He's like, crap, it's all over. All right, I guess I give up.
Yeah, the jig is up here.
But it's not over for him yet, because somebody needs retribution.
So Kaori's really mad.
And she's like, no, I've been waiting for you.
Picks him up, spins him around, throws him over her head, right back into the water. I guess that's all she really needed.
She just needed to get it out of her system.
She just needed to get it out. She seemed perfectly happy with that. Well, good. I'm glad that she feels better.
Also, this is going to come into play later when we get to the wrestling episode.
Is this?
That is this season, right? The wrestling episode?
I want to say
with the
so,
female
yeah.
wrestlers? Female wrestling league, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that's not for another, 30 episodes or something like that.
It's still a ways down the line.
But yeah, that's all wrapped up. Dude, we assume, was taken to jail. And it's the next day, and Ryo is trying to have a makeup day. Mind you, a forced makeup day with Sayako.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So they're in the car. Ryo's driving this time. But unfortunately, he was speeding.
So, of course, they get pulled over. But who are they pulled over by? Oh, it's a motorcycle cop.
It's Kiyomi again. And to make matters worse, Kiyomi's like, hey, Sayako, you're needed back at the office, and I'm here to escort you back.
Oh, great. That's all this was. Oh, no. You're not off the hook. I'm gonna write you that ticket. I just can't do it right this second. I'm gonna mail this ticket to you.
And Ryo's just like, no.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Supergirl plays. End of the episode.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, that was an episode.
I like this episode. I don't know how to think of Kiyomi as a character because they never quite make it explicit that she was doing things for humor. The character was trying to make, Ryo laugh. I think that was the joke, was that she took things so literally.
It could have been, yeah. I liked that Kaori was just trying to be herself. And then was just really unhappy when she wasn't able to just be herself. And then she just wanted to be able to get her frustrations out on the person who caused it. And that mostly wasn't Ryo this time. Mostly,
yeah. She hit him with the hammer a couple of times, but she wasn't the main focus of her anger this episode.
He wasn't the main focus of her.
Is that not what I said?
No, you said she.
Well, yeah. Ryo wasn't the main focus of her anger. It was Bootleg Dude.
And he got his, so she was happy. So you know what? I'm happy for her.
Compared to other City Hunter episodes, I like how everyone was characterized this week because Ryo was still the same, but he was much worse last week than this week.
Right.
So I feel better about that. What you said about Cowdy, 100% agree with.
At least this time, too, for a second, Ryo actually questions assaulting the police officer rather than just straight up assaulting the police officer without thinking about it, because it's Sayako who instructed him to do so, and he even claps back what? But that's an officer.
Which is in stark contrast to last week when he assaulted 2 women who are officers.
Without thinking about it, yeah. I feel like we just have a little bit of disjointed, what does his character actually want to do?
Well, because you can look at it this way to take care of the dissonance. It's either 2 completely different people were writing each episode, and so Ryo was not behaving in accordance to what happened last week, or you could look at it in a positive light, and you could say maybe he learned something from last week and decided to question touching a female police officer.
Now, he did do it anyway, but that's because a police officer told him to do it. A different police officer.
But specifically, the police officer he's been trying to bone.
For 2 years.
Yeah, so take that for what you will. So next week's episode, we're going to be dealing with, as we like to put it here, another princess from Fake Land.
Fake Land princess? That's my favorite.
And this is a multi-parter.
Oh, it's a 2-parter. Oh no. We're back to these. There's gonna be a lot more of these this season.
We've had a nice string of single episodes, but now we gotta get back to 2-part hell.
Those Japanese manga that I told you guys that I picked up a little while back, the manga chapters that associate with this next episode actually are in these volumes of the manga that I picked up, so it might be nice to do a little bit of comparison between the two next week.
Yeah, that'll probably run into what we're talking about because we can actually compare, because again, so much of the manga hasn't been brought over here yet. Thankfully, Comics?
Yeah, through the Manga Hot app, which is a little difficult to navigate because it is in Japanese, but you can do it and you can read a good chunk of it for free.
In English.
In English. And right now they're up into the 40s, I think. Chapter 40 some odd. So they're making good progress and they're releasing a little bit more every so often. And a little bit more and a little bit more. So they're not nearly finished, but they're getting there. And they've been for a long time talking about we would like to pursue printing it again at some point in the future. So we'll see how that goes. So I don't think you can legally read the chapter we were talking about yet, but eventually you will be able to.
So that'll be a fun one. Princess from Fake Land, and she's kind of got supernatural powers. We'll have to look into that.
Supernatural powers come up once in a blue moon in this series, and they always kind of bother me, but I think this one wasn't so bad.
No, I think this one's explainable.
So come back next time when we cover the 10th episode of City Hunter 2, to Mokkori Killer, the Princess's Noble Aura, Part 1.
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on Twitter. For now, I'm at JoshKnightFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 60th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm gonna send a little girl to interrupt all of Josh's private moments.
But where are you going to find a little girl?